Every video and episode of the It's Cavalier podcast is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoy the show here today, consider signing up. You'll get early access, exclusive videos, podcasts, member shoutouts, and more. And as always, thank you for watching. Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mac, and today I just wanted to hop on here and discuss something that I've seen rather recently on all spectrum of social media, whether that be X, Twitter, whatever people call it these days, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's everywhere. Anytime I see decision making on what the Cleveland Cavaliers should do with the 14th roster spot on the team, I'm always seeing differing opinions. On one side of the token, I see a lot of people saying, well, you know what, we should get a valuable depth, somebody that, if an injury occurs, can step in and give quality minutes, a playable piece of depth. And that's honestly where I kind of align myself with. But what I'm also seeing, especially with some of the names that are becoming available, whether that be Malik Beasley, we already know the off-court shit that's going on with Malik Beasley. That's besides the point. Theoretically, from a pure basketball perspective, Malik Beasley, if he were willing to sign on the dotted line for the veteran minimum, makes a ton of sense regardless of who he would potentially be battling with on the roster for minutes. If you're able to sign a Malik Beasley or somebody like that to a veteran minimum, somebody can play basketball at a high level, especially do some of the things that the Cavaliers have struggled with at times, especially in terms of three-point shot making at the 2-3 positions. Regardless of any of that, what I am also seeing from folks is this opinion starting to formulate that they don't want, or at least on the surface, that they don't want somebody that could come in and jeopardize the development of a Craig Porter Jr., of a Jalen Tyson. They don't want anybody that certainly could steal minutes away from Alonzo Ball or Craig or anybody else that could be trying to make their way back into a playoff caliber roster or is working their way back from injury in the case of Alonzo or Darius, somebody like that. I just don't understand it. So I need some clarity on this. I need to know what the mindset is with some of the folks who believe that. Because in my opinion, especially with some of the injuries that this team has sustained over the last 2-3 seasons, hell, you can go further back than that, back to the play-in days, right? It does not hurt to continue to build upon that depth. Now, the school of thought, at least where I'm at with this, is this. I understand completely that players like Russell Westbrook, who is still a free agent, we have heard, hey, the Sacramento Kings are trying to move up off of Malik Monk to clear space to sign Russell Westbrook. We have heard that if Russell does not sign in Sacramento, there's no chance of him playing in the NBA this season, which I think is bullshit. Like, I just do. I think this man is too talented to not be on a roster right now. Now, is that partially or partly his own doing? Could be. Maybe he's gotten contract offers. Maybe he's just kind of balked at them, said, this is not the right opportunity for me. Maybe it's a money thing. Hell, I really don't know. But my point being is that Russell Westbrook is another one of those players who is capable enough to be to be on somebody's roster, right? Truly is. And for the Cavaliers fans out there, like I think I tweeted something out the other day about potentially adding Russell Westbrook to this roster, especially just in terms of sheer depth, because you don't really have proven depth behind Craig Porter Jr., right? Well, Craig is not really proven within himself. Lonzo is working his way back from injury, and it's no given that he's going to be healthy come the playoffs. Darius Garland is working his way back from injury. So really right now, you could use all the depth that you could get, honestly. And to me, if you were able to get somebody like that to sign on the dotted line for the vet minimum, makes a ton of sense with that 14th spot. But I think we're getting to this point where people's expectations of what that position, like who you should sign with one of those final spots, is getting just skewed, right? It's all over the place. Do we want somebody who can reliably contribute come the playoffs, or do we want somebody who's just going to be a placeholder? And look, I understand you don't want to impact the development of Jalen. You don't want to impact the development of Craig Porter Jr. You don't want somebody who's going to be coming in as a malcontent. You don't want anybody who's going to come in and stir the pot in terms of decision making, right? Especially considering how important this season is, how pivotal of a 2025-26 campaign this will be for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I need, for the life of me, I just don't understand the mindset behind some fans. Like, what do you actually value the most at this point in time from those spots, from spots 14? Because what we're hearing is that the Cavaliers are not likely to sign anybody to that 15 spot. That is what the rumors are, is that they're going to leave that spot open, whether that be to convert a two-way to a standardized contract like a Naquan Tomlin, somebody like that, right? Or Luke Travers, or whoever else they may sign to that third two-way spot, or for trade flexibility come the deadline. We already know, like Dean Wade, he's on an expiring deal. There are a couple of contracts on the roster that maybe the Cavaliers try and move up off of come the trade deadline. But to me, I just need to understand from the people who feel this way, what do you value the most? Because for me, I want somebody that I know I can trust to at least can step in and contribute come the playoffs, or in a pinch, right? If God forbid that Darius Garland goes down, or Evan Mobley, or Jarrett Allen, or one of our core pieces, right? Somebody who is playing heavy playoff minutes. God forbid any of these guys miss time come next playoffs. Obviously, we've seen it time and time again. But if that does happen, you want somebody that you know can come in and make an impact, or at the very least not be a net negative out there. And the options on the market are like, they're dwindling. They're not any like true, well, not there are some, but they're not many. They're not flush at this point in time, where cap space is almost gone. You do have a number of teams that can offer the non-taxpayers mid-level exception and the standard mid-level exception to MLE, but guys that are left on the market, players like Malcolm Brogdon and Westbrook and Beasley, who's in a unique situation. And we know that Detroit could still bring him back, right? Al Horford is rumored to be waiting on the Kuminga situation to play out in Golden State. There are some names that make sense to me that can contribute if called upon. And one of those players that hasn't been mentioned yet is Alec Burks, another player that I think would fit in at least on paper. But again, every single time one of these guys becomes available or is referenced, what I am seeing across social media is people shooting these ideas down. And that leads me to believe that people don't really want anything else than a placeholder. And we have seen that time and time again over these last 3 seasons with the Cavs, whether that be the signing of Robin Lopez, or a basically done Danny Green, or Tristan Thompson. I hate to say that, even with the 25 game suspension, like the way he was playing before that, I understand. But come the playoffs, none of those guys were going to be truly in the rotation, and they weren't, right? Uh, You want somebody, that's my point. You want somebody that can come in and give you a solid 10 to 15 minutes if necessary. Not somebody who is going to at this point in the offseason, you're not looking for your eighth or ninth or 10th best player in a rotation. That for the Cavaliers is already set, even with the injuries that they're working through, even with Lonzo and DG working their way back. The rotation is already set in stone. That your 10 to 11, hell, maybe even 12 best players, they're already on the roster. Those guys, your playoff rotation is already basically set in stone, at least for right now. Things can change. They're not like definitive in terms of how things play out during the course of a season, where guys develop or they don't, or you see some shifts or changes or contract decisions are made. But by and large, anybody who is signed to that 14th spot is not likely to be in the rotation outside of some extraordinary circumstance like an injury or miraculously beating out somebody for that spot in the rotation, which I think that would be foolhardy to think that would be the case. But for me, like if you can get Al, if you can get Russ, if you can get Brogdon, if you can get Burks, somebody along those lines to come in and suit up and play, hell, it makes a ton of sense to me. I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that, but I'm very curious to hear you guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below, whether you're streaming on YouTube or listed on your favorite podcast platform. I just don't get it because so much of what I'm seeing is, well, we don't want them coming in and impacting a guy. They're going to expect minutes, things of that nature. And I'm just like, dude, like, do you want somebody you can trust or not? Because for me, like with what we have seen these last couple of years, you want somebody that can come in and like, hey, I know this guy can run the offense for me in the case of a point guard like a Russ. I know that he's not necessarily a dependable shooter, but I know that he's tough. I know that he is a good quality rebounder at even at his size at the guard position. And I know that he's going to try, right? I know he's not going to shut down if called upon, but so much of what I'm seeing is the opposite of that. So I don't know. I would love to hear what the thought process is behind that line of thought. Or it gets me every single time because with what we have seen, like the injuries that they sustained even this postseason, whether that be to Darius, to DeAndre Hunter, who dislocated his thumb, Evan Mobley with the ankle stuff, Sam Merrill missed time. It's just you never know what can happen. So the one thing that this team needs outside of right, they already addressed backup 4 or 5 with the acquisition of Larry Nance Jr. bringing him back. That's awesome. Lonzo, you got a lot of positional flexibility with those two guys and some of the other decisions that were made. All you really need at this point is quality, dependable depth. You don't want to bring in just anybody. Like that's where I'm at. Like I'm done with that stage. That maybe I'm alone in that, but I'm done with that stage where we just are signing somebody to fill that open spot, to fill that void. I don't want any more Tristan Thompson level signings. And I get it, like from a player perspective, from a franchise perspective, from a PR standpoint, whatever you're trying to do, like it makes sense. It's good business, I suppose. It's good for appeal to the fans, but I want somebody that I know, like if truly called upon in a playoff scenario, can impact the game. So if you can, I don't care if they shoot you down, but if you reach out to these players, like and they say no, that's the worst that can happen, right? Like hopefully Kobe Altman and company have probably already sent feelers out there to some of these guys who you wouldn't necessarily expect to sign a vet minimum with no guarantee of playtime. Like, hopefully, he's leaving no stone unturned. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think we should fall into this mentality of, oh, let's just sign anybody, right? Let's just sign somebody who's not going to be a potential or is not going to have a potential impact on playtime for other players. Let's just sign somebody who's non-controversial, all that. And listen, I get it. All of those things have merit, but I want somebody that I can feel that I can trust. That's essentially what I'm saying. But you guys let me know what you feel in the comments below. As always, if you're late to reach out to me, I can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you want to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to iscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you said invite. If you want to support the pod in a small but helpful way, consider becoming a member over on Patreon. You could do so for as little as $1 a month. Hell, you can do it on YouTube too if you want. Go Cavs.